Welcome back, everyone. It is a beautiful and foggy day here in the Alpine Farming Expansion for Farming Simulator 19. And in today's video, we have a ton of work to do. You can see we've got some guys getting into position already because it's time for some field work. And specifically, it's time for harvest. But we don't just have one field to harvest anymore. This would be field number 4. We've harvested it before. Now we have field number 3 as well. So we are expanding quickly. That means more income, which is going to help us to expand even more quickly. More land, better equipment, more equipment, and so on. So right now, actually, we have, it looks like an issue. One of my tractors has just disappeared. I don't even know where he went. So we're going to have to track him down here in just a minute. But first things first, let's get these bad boys rolling on the field. Now, in order to avoid a potential collision, because you can see just up ahead there how close this guy is to the field with our trailer. So I think we're good here. Now, today we're harvesting barley. I try to mix it up a little bit while staying within the grain family. So barley will be on today's menu. It has, I believe, less volume overall than wheat, but the prices are fairly similar. So let's take a look at those. So we got wheat and barley here at the very beginning. Right now, well, looks like we're out of luck. Barley is not worth a whole lot, but that's just the timing of it. Now, obviously, we could simply take all of this and put it in our silo and wait for better demand, better pricing. But for our purposes, we're here to have fun, so we're just simply going to go with it. Now, I think we're okay. I don't think we're going to have any issues here with collision. But yeah, there's only one guy. There's supposed to be 2 guys over here. So let's see if we can track down this other guy. Oh, he's already over here. So he just jumped ahead. He decided it was time to head to the grain mill and sell when, well, he didn't have anything to sell. But that's okay. He's going to work his way back, and we'll get him started when he gets over here. So let's move this guy into position. So I've spent this time, we've done a couple of harvests since we were last together, and I'm just trying to earn some money to keep us going in the right direction. So we're at $64,000 right now, and of course we hope that today's harvest will get us quite a bit of money and enable us to further some expansion. So obviously our plans are to turn field number 4 into grass, but that can only happen when we have the ability to lay down another cow pasture, in fact a large cow pasture, and then from there we will try to add some cows and then convert that field over. But for right now, we're searching for income. So we are expanding the number of fields that we have until we can realistically purchase not only the cow pasture for 300 grand, but also the cows that we're going to need to put in there, which are also fairly expensive. So we've gotten the field work up and running, not without a few hitches, but we expect to see our guy back with the tractor here in just a few minutes. And in the meantime, that surely means that we've got some work to do on the cow. So let's come in real quick to see what's needed for the cows. Now, we're doing great on hay. I just did a harvest of the hay here very recently, and it didn't take very long at all with our updated equipment, our huge Krone mower, new tedder, windrower, and so on. So that is in great shape. It looks like straw is also in great shape. I've been refilling it after every harvest that we do. Straw is also a great way to earn some extra income. So if you're planting any of the crops that will yield straw as a byproduct, I definitely recommend using that for some additional income. For me, I've been getting somewhere on field 4, somewhere around 15 grand per harvest for that. So give or take, that's not a bad haul. And if you're wondering on the map, where on earth would you sell the straw? Well, the answer is right over here near the animal dealer. In fact, you can see I've got an auto drive icon over here. It's a location right in this back corner. So the northwest corner of the animal dealer, it's called the barn, and that is where you drop that off. It is extremely tight to get through here, I can tell you that much, which is why I generally do that drop off manually, but it is certainly something to consider. So back to our cows. Let's take a look at where we are. So we've got plenty of water, plenty of straw, plenty of hay. So really they're in great shape. We do, however, have some milk to sell. that much we've got. We've also, if we wanted to get into the slurry and that type of thing, we've got some of that we could work with as well. All right, so our other tractor has appeared back on the farm, so that's good. These guys will be called by the combines whenever they're ready. So now let's get over to our guy who is going to be taking our milk. Let's change him around a little bit here. So we're going to put him on load. He's going to load here at the milk pickup, which is where he's at now. We're actually going to move him around. He doesn't like to be, for auto drive purposes, he doesn't like to start out right at his fill point, so we're going to go and move him around a little bit. He's going to be taking this to the chocolate factory, and of course we are loading him up with milk, so we'll get him up and running here. And let's see, let's have him do 3 loads of that. So you can leave it on infinity and he will basically just run this route over and over again. We're going to put him on 3. That should be good. We might only need 2, but just in case, we're going to put him on 3. All right, so this guy, hold on. We don't want you going to the chocolate factory yet, but that's exactly what he wants to do. So what if I tell him to, no, he's just going to go right on to the chocolate factory. So I'll tell you what, rather than fuss with him too much, I'm just going to let him go. And we're going to head back over to the field. And here we go, our first opportunity for the harvest. So our guy made almost 3 full trips. And unfortunately, he got both guys with him. Okay, I don't like that. That's happened before when I was testing everything out. So that is, yeah, don't like that. So we're going to catch this guy, and we're actually going to bring him over here manually behind this other combine. It only seems to happen the first time that the combines call these guys, but nonetheless, it is certainly not what we are wanting. And I'm sure this combine is ready to be unloaded as well, or getting very close to it. So let's go ahead and open the cover. We'll just take care of this one manually. So again, we're doing barley today on this harvest. I've done oats, which are my favorite to do, generally because they have a whole lot less volume, which means fewer trips back and forth to the combine and to sell, while you can still generally get the same amount of profitability, just depending on where the prices are. But I do like the oats because it has a lot less volume overall. And the fewer trips we have to have the AI make, that's fewer opportunities for glitches and issues. So this guy is going to unload, and then I'll send him on his way. Right now we're just using the grain mill as far as where we're selling everything, regardless of what the prices are, simply because so far that has been the best one as far as getting our guys in and out with the AI. Some of the others have a few issues here and there, so I've decided to stick with the grain mill. Much the same reason why the chocolate factory is a very good way for us to sell our milk, because it's a very easy in and out path for the AI. All right, so it should actually have him empty. There's nothing on this field, thank goodness, right now, because I basically have no other option than to try to just use this field as much as we can. So I'm going to get this guy back over here, and then we're going to set him running. He's going to head off to the grain mill. Looks like our other guy is already there. All right, here comes the milk. Okay. Oh, actually, yeah, this is his first trip down there since he insisted on going ahead and making the trip. So he has nothing on board, which means he's not going to be making us any money. All right, so here comes, let's see, that would be tractor number 2, I believe. Yeah, this is the most recent tractor. He's headed over to the grain mill, and when we get here, I would imagine we're going to find tractor number 1 is already here. Taking a look at the top right-hand corner of the screen, this is where you see the money we've got right now, and it'll also start to go up as we sell off our product. And no, he is not here. So this is the first guy coming through. Oh, yep, there he is. There's tractor number 2 there in the background. So this is tractor number 1. All right, so we'll see how much we get from our first load of barley. Yeah, just get that pesky sign out of the way. We don't even need it there. Just go ahead and run that over. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and hop out just for a moment. We're going to watch this guy do his work. I love it. I love watching this part of it. Of course, the surroundings don't hurt anything either. All right, so how much are we going to get here? That was about 9,900, so not near what we would like to have, but we've already seen the pricing is anything but good right now for barley. So this is going to be a very unproductive haul for us right now. Okay, here comes our second tractor, so we're simply going to wait here for him. We'll let him unload, and then we'll allow him to continue, and these guys will go on about their work. So probably my favorite part of Farming Simulator is as we progress through the game, we get more equipment, we start working more fields and so on. I start to call it the living world because we have so much activity going on the map after a little while that it really feels like a living world, like there are people working in it and living in it, and that is what gets me really excited about Farming Simulator. And it's why I love the AI, course play and the different mods like that so much. It just brings about even more enjoyment to the game for me. All right, so we got this guy up and running. He'll head back to the field. Let's head back to the field ourselves. And let's see, where are these guys going? All right, so already, wow, this guy is really zeroing in. He's only got a couple of more rounds, and he'll be done with this field. Let's check in on our chocolate guy. Yes, I know you've been sitting here with absolutely nothing to do. Why do you refuse to leave? So why do you refuse to do this? He is, oh, it's because I've got him on the wrong thing. Yeah, there we go. All right, let's go ahead and turn him off for just a second. See if I can get him to reset. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, it always helps whenever you have them. Oh, and he is going to get, I'm not sure. Is he going to stop? I don't think he was going to stop for the train, so we're going to manually stop him. I don't even know if there's collision on this thing. On these cautions. I don't even know if that's... We were about to find out if there was collision on the train and the lights and all that kind of thing, because we were just about to run through it. All right, so we're going to ride with this guy for just a second, and the reason is he's going to ride up beside our newest entry. We've got a taco stand. Now, some of you might recognize this from another map, particularly a wonderful map in Farming Simulator 17. As far as I know, it does not have a release, an official release anyway, for Farming Sim 19, but it is from the Oak Farm map. And it is a mod available for download, and simply, it's here for decoration. It does have, there's our living world, up and running again. But it does have a small amount of income on a daily basis. I think it makes somewhere around $700 a day. But mainly it's here because I really love looking at it. I loved it on the map, the Lone Oak Farm map when it was originally released, and I wanted to bring it over here. There's a few more of those types of things that I want to add along the way, but for right now, that was enough to get us up and running. Okay, so I see we're already unloading this combine once again. So hopefully these guys are all set to only trigger one at a time going forward. So this is a good opportunity. Like if we had another tractor right now, particularly the one over here that's already unloading on the field, we could simply get the loading wagon and start working with the straw. Unfortunately, I don't have another tractor, and I'm at a point where I don't really want to spend a whole lot more money unless it's on something that's going to generate a lot more income. And right now, a new tractor really wouldn't generate any more income. It would simply speed things up for me in some of the work that I do off camera. And right now, that is not my major concern because we're all about growing this thing. And growing this thing is going to be a long process, and I couldn't be happier about it. All right, so this guy, he's coming right at us. Yeah, he decided he was coming right over to the side. Now, he should simply be looking for a waypoint to connect and then head on his way. And sure enough, there he goes. So this guy he's taking the long route over here to the combine. He decided to go all the way through field 4 and then make another pass. But at least he's getting there. That's all that matters in the end. All right, so we take a look at the overhead map here. You can see field 3, we're about halfway done here, but field 4, he's nearly done. In fact, whenever he gets done with this pass, he will probably be done. All right, let's go ahead and let's head over and see what he's up to. Okay, nope, he's going to have one more small pass for looks like about a third of his working width, maybe. Okay, so he's not quite done yet, but he is well on his way. So now that we have some money, we've got some additional land, we should be able to expand the amount of loan that we can take out. So let's quickly come over to the financial tab. So here at the bottom, you might remember when we originally took out the loan to do some expansion, we took out 500 grand. So I have paid some of that back. About 85 grand of that I have paid back. And right now you can see we're at about 85 grand there. So let's see how much more we can borrow. So let's see how much it's going to let. Is it just going to let us get back up to the 500 grand? Nope, it's going to let us go beyond. That's what I was hoping for. Generally, this amount is going to be based on what you own in the game. So how much land, how much in equipment, and so on. So let's see, what is it going to enable us to do? So the reason I'm just simply going to max this out is because we can always repay it with what we don't need. Okay, so 905 grand. That is awesome, because with that 900 grand, we're going to be able to do some very, very nice work. All right, and in order to do that and get a little bit of work done here, let's see, is he still moving? Yeah, he's still moving. I thought maybe he had turned himself off for some reason. We need to move some things out of the way. So normally what I've been doing is, of course, the big bud, it takes up so much room. I've just been putting him wherever I've got room. But over in this area, I've been placing all of our grass and hay working equipment. That's why you see the big Krone mower, tedder, windrower, all that kind of stuff is over there. And then over on this side, in this small area, I've been putting the harvesters or the combines, as well as our trailers, that kind of stuff has been over there. There's some more harvest. Where is this guy even going? This guy is going, he is over here at the animal area, which is not, and I repeat, not the grain mill. So I have no idea what this dude is doing. But you also notice he has not unloaded the barley. So yeah, we got a few glitches we got to work through right here. This is, yikes. I mean, he's not even in the area. So let's pull up the map. I'm going to show you guys where he's at. So he was just over here. I assume he made the round, because I've got a path over here for the animal dealer as well as the barn selling points. So I assume he made this round, but that means he went all the way over here instead of... He's so far away from the grain mill, which is way down here. This guy, he's having some issues. So is he going to turn right and head to the grain mill? Thankfully he is. Wow, that is... All right, let's get some of these guys. Continue. I'm actually not minding having to hit continue so much anymore, because it gives me an opportunity to check up on some of these guys, because they tend to have some issues from time to time. So if nothing else, it gives me a point where I know they're going to stop and they're going to wait for me. So at least I know they got to where they needed to be. So this guy, you can see in the bottom right-hand corner, he has 0%. So he did indeed unload. And we're sitting at 600 grand right now. So let's come back to the farm. We need to get back into this combine for one thing. Yeah, this guy right here. We're going to go ahead and make sure we get the pipe out, because we're going to need to unload as soon as we get a guy back over here. All right. But yikes, that was That was nothing that I want to see again. He was way off the track. All right, so there I see our milk tank coming back to be refilled. So we're making some money today. These are the fun days when you get to do your harvest. Now in the future, of course, the cows are going to produce milk every day. So we'll be able to get that income coming more than just once every 3 to 4 days. All right, so right now we're going to get this guy out of the way. You can see I've got the Krone mower, but I've also got the tedder behind it because I was doing some testing, and the Krone mower is going to be able to use the tedder behind it, and so that saves us an entire pass. It saves us a lot of work because this guy's going to cut the grass, and then also the tedder is going to turn it into hay, so we're not going to have to run a separate pass for that, and that is quite awesome. All right, so for right now, we're just going to drop this guy right over here. We're going to make sure he's nice and in the way. All right, now we need, all right, this guy, let's see, this is, yeah, that's the big tractor. This is our 300 horsepower monster tractor that will pretty much be capable of anything I'm going to throw at it. So we're actually going to take him off of this route. We're going to let the other guy handle the remaining combine, and we're going to use this guy because we're going to need to hook him up and move this other equipment out of the way. And we'll save this combine. I know he still needs to be emptied one last time, and we'll save that again for the very end. I'm not terribly worried about that right now. Now, this other piece of equipment, if you're not familiar with it, this is actually a fertilizer. For us, though, it is serving the purpose as a lime spreader. So you can put fertilizer in this guy, and if we come around to the back, these will extend out from the rear and really increase the working width. I want to say it's about 18 meters, if I remember correctly, but somewhere in the 16 to 18 range. So it has a nice working width, but we use this whenever we need to spread lime on one of our fields. All right, so this guy, I have disconnected it. So now we can hop over, because the next thing we're going to do is we're going to set up some cows. We're going to set up our cow pasture over here, our large cow pasture, I should say. And then we'll see what we can do from there. We're probably going to need a hay barn or two, at least one, over in this area. And I'm actually going to run out of room probably over here in this small area for right now. So we're going to have to just start dropping some stuff off for the time being right here, because we will need the big bud will need to come out, because he's going to need to work the fields here momentarily, because he's going to need to plant some grass on field 4, because we're going to need all that grass to feed all the cows we're about to purchase. All right, finally, let's get our loading wagon. So for today's purposes, I'm not going to do anything with the straw, most likely anyway. We'll see how time goes. But as far as the things I normally do off camera, that takes a little while to collect all of the straw from both fields and then sell it. But it is a nice amount of money. So it's always a struggle, just depending on how much time I have available to spend in the game. I would love nothing more than to collect all the straw for our cows and also for the additional income we get from it, but time restrictions are what they are. So I believe we've now gotten everything taken care of. Let's see, this guy is ready to go. Where is our other, is he already over there? Or is he still sitting back? Yeah, he's still sitting back here. Okay, so we'll hit continue on him, and then we'll head back over. Okay, perfect. All right, so as you can see, there's a lot of work, and we're only working 2 fields right now. This doesn't include any of the work that I'm normally doing as far as cutting grass up here. All right, so let's get over here. There is no equipment remaining, so I'm going to press the P key for me on the PC version. We're going to come over to the placeables and animal pens. And now we're going to get this large cow pasture. This is a huge expenditure of money, 300 grand. And it could be more than that depending on where we place it and any landscaping it has to do. So let's go ahead and rotate this thing. Let's see, how do we want it facing? Do we want it to face like this, where we can see the cows from the field? I mean, we're going to have to place it probably right about in here regardless, simply because we don't have a lot of latitude of changing that. Or do we want to maybe put it like this, where the cows are facing toward the main farm? That'll make it a little easier to fill the hay, probably. Yeah, I like that. I like that. Let's put this about. I'm trying to find a good area, but it's just not giving me much room to move this thing around. So I think we're going to go about right there. All right, so now let's take a look. So what I've tried to do, we don't spend a whole lot of time around on the other side there, but if we do need to, such as when we're dropping off the straw, we've got easy route to that. Here, we've already got routes running back down through here, back and forth through this area. So now I can just simply create a branch off where we can drop off the food here. And we'll have an easy route that I can make bringing the milk tank right in through here. Okay, good. There comes our tractor back. So hopefully he'll hop over to the existing combine that is still working. So we'll have our milk, and then I can bring him through here, an easy way to get back out to the main road. So all of that should be perfect. So I'm trying to keep an eye on this guy to make sure he heads over to the combine. But yeah, I like where we are with this. So let's go ahead and head over. Just like I showed you guys in a previous video, I'm going to go ahead and get the construction started on the water fill point, because that comes in handy. It's not something I use all of the time. I still prefer to manually use the water tank and bring it over with the tractor as often as I can, but sometimes there's just more to do than you've got time to do it. So this comes in very handy. All right, yeah, there you go. So things are working according to plan, more or less. So now what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to purchase a whole bunch of cows. So we got 300 grand remaining. So which cows do we want? Now the ones I'm most familiar with will be the black and white ones. And we're definitely not going to get into the Brahman cows. So it would be either the brown and white. We've got a lot of brown cows around here as well, but I kind of like the black and white ones. So let's go ahead and how many do we want? So I've got a mod that keeps me from having to click this over and over and over again. So let's see, what is it going to cost us for about 100 of these with the fees and all included. So fees are going to be 20 grand. So that's going to be about 270 grand, which is going to be a lot. We have 320. I like that number. Of course, a nice round number of cows, but also it gets us 100 cows and it gives us a little bit of money left. Now I'm going to go ahead and sell a lot of straw, as much straw as I can, so that we can get even more money. And then as things go on, we'll have grass to mow and we'll have a nice amount of income coming from these additional cows. So let's go ahead and confirm that. And new livestock, and lo and behold, here we go. We have livestock. Now there's still a lot of work to be done before they're going to be productive and actually make money for us. I've got to get water to them. I've got to get some hay to them. We're going to get some straw to them and so on. So right now they're not making us anything, but obviously that is going to change as we move forward. All right, so now we've got everything moved out of the way. This guy looks like he is full, but he's stuck. But not to worry, we're going to take care of that problem for him here momentarily. All right, again, this map is just amazing. That's why I spend so much time just walking around when normally I could just simply tab through the vehicles. I love it. Let's see, how full is he? He is, okay, we might be able to, before I move this guy out of his way. Now, he's going to have a little bit too much, I believe. So as much as I want to just use him this time, I think I'm just going to go ahead and move this guy out of the way. Alright, so we'll get him out of the way so this guy can go on about his business. And we're also going to move this guy out of the way momentarily. I'm going to leave the arm extended because that will be a great reminder for me. Alright, so we're going to hop into this tractor. Again, my case tractor that I love so much. And we are going to collect a little bit of straw. So we're not going to be able to get all of it done in today's video, but we're going to get a little bit done because I want you guys to be able to see as much of the game as possible. And I don't believe we've seen the barn selling point just yet. All right, so let's get him started here. All right, yeah, there we go. You can see the straw filling up. So we can fit a ton of straw. And in general, what I've been seeing in past harvests is I get about 2 full loads, more or less, out of field number 4. So that means we should get about 3 times that much off of field number 3, which is awesome. Because like I said, not only are we going to need this straw for the cows, but it also provides a nice secondary income off of the land, since our primary income off of this land has been simply the main crop, whether it be wheat or oats or whatever the case might be, or barley like we're doing today. So yeah, no need to simply leave the straw down or to swap the combine so that it does not leave the swath behind it. I mean, this is free money basically. So I try to use it and take advantage of it as much as I possibly can. So as I mentioned, right now we've still got work on field 3 going on. It was delayed a little bit because of some issues we were having with our trailers, but overall this has been a pretty good harvest. We're making some nice money. I really wish the pricing was better this time around, but we hit sort of a low point in the pricing, and I wanted to make sure and get all of the income that we could get. That's why I didn't simply just take it and drop it off in the silo for the time being. But in the future, that is definitely something we will do once money is no longer of our chief concern on a day-to-day basis. But right now, we spend a lot of money just in leasing costs from our vehicles. So we need some serious income just to offset that and try to continue to get ahead as much as we can. The good news for us is that realistically, we don't have to worry about how much money we borrow, because the amount of money we borrow, the interest we're paying on that is almost nothing. It is about $1,100 for the $500,000 that we did have. So it's not going to be a whole lot more than that for the $900,000 that we're at right now. All right, so let's take this over. And again, if you're unfamiliar, just take a look under the cows, because it is about to deposit that straw right there in the small cow pasture. You'll see it start to fill up as we drop this in there. Now there's going to be a room for a lot of straw in this one as compared to our other, but again, you can see it starting to fill up in just a little bit in some of these areas. So if we come back into the cow pasture, you can see that we have our large cow pasture that we just put down, 100 cows, and then we have 49 cows in our small cow pasture. So it's about time to sell some of these off. But right now, real quick, I wanted to see how much straw we could take, and it looks like we're in good shape there. So we're going to get quite a bit off of this one. And then once we get a little farther along, we need to sell some additional cows from our other pasture. All right, so let's get this guy ready. I'm going to go ahead and turn him on so he'll start collecting the straw. And then we'll get our second load. We'll take our second load of straw and we will fill up the remaining area available in this cow pasture, and then we'll take the remainder up to our smaller cow pasture as well. So unfortunately, we're not always going to have all of this straw available since we're about to convert field number 4 over to grass. But in the future, of course, we're going to have a lot of fields, and I'm sure we're going to have a lot of access to straw on a regular basis. So I don't think that's going to be an issue for us long term, but it may be from time to time as we swap things around. All right, so this guy is full again. Unfortunately, you can see he's full, but he's only got a very small amount left to do. So that's going to mean a couple of extra trips there. All right, so here in just a second, I'm going to stop this guy because we need to get our tractor moving. If you remember, if you're better than me with your memory, you'll remember that our guy is sitting over here right now. So we'll hit continue on him. Oops, I actually needed to get him, so let's go back to him. Our chocolatier, he's still sitting over there. Where is he at? There he is. All right, so it looks like he's got one more trip, or this may be his last trip. All right, there we go. So let's go ahead and turn on. And let's see if we can make this turn here. It's a pretty tight turn with a loading wagon this size, because you don't have a lot of room there to work with. All right, so we're at 50% full, and you can see this is, it's going to end up being about 2 full loads and maybe a little bit of extra beyond that, but 2 full loads of straw here, and we're going to need it on a regular basis. It looks to me like about 2 full loads of straw is enough to completely fill up both of our cow pastures. It looks like that's going to be pretty close for an estimate. All right, for those of you who might not be familiar, if you notice the white stuff on the parts of the field that we have not been working, that's actually the lime that I showed you guys earlier when we were going through some of our equipment. Every so often, I believe it's after every 3 harvests or so, you have to spread lime on your fields. And unless you turn that option off, you can certainly turn it off the way I did with the weeds. But I actually enjoy spreading the lime on the fields. I like the look of it, and I just like the idea of doing that overall. The weeds, not so much. That's not really fun for me. I've dealt enough with weeds in my lifetime, so dealing with them in the game is not as much fun as you might think. All right, yeah, here comes our tractor back to unload the combine once again. But you can see we're spending a lot of money during this process. The harvest is offsetting a good bit of it, but these cows are really going to provide us with a lot of income on a regular basis, both through the milk as well as through the animal husbandry that will allow us to sell some of these cows going forward. All right, so we're going to remove as much as we need to in here. Yeah, there you go. There you can see the hay as it finally fills up both inside the barn and out. So that's going to leave us with about 17,000 liters of straw. That's about 30%. We'll simply bring that up to the smaller cow pasture, drop it off there. Let's see, let's take the wide sweeping path in here. All right, yeah, that's going to work out just perfect. Okay, let's go ahead and drop the straw. You can see we're definitely not empty here. Okay, so it didn't quite take all of it, about 1,000 left. I'll deal with that in a little bit, but for right now, we need to sell off a few cows. So let's hop right over here, open up our animal dialogue. So right now we have 49 of 50. Generally what I do is I come in every so often once it gets to 49 or 50, and I'll drop it back to about 45 or so. If I need a little extra money, I might sell off a few more. But it doesn't really matter which ones we sell off. Doesn't really matter to me anyway. So I'm going to sell off we're going to get down to 45. So you can see we're going to get $8,000, pay a small fee there. So our total will be $7,200. Now, this is only on 50 cows that we're working with. Imagine the money we're going to be able to make working with 200 cows. So that'll give you an idea of the type of income you can get aside from the milk that we'll have each day. So let's go ahead and confirm that. Okay, awesome. So I notice it says Helper G has completed their task. Let's go ahead and tab our way down and see exactly what's going on. So this guy is still moving down there, but our other combine, which is somewhere in here, there he is. We're going to go ahead and get over to him, extend out. And this is going to give us a great opportunity as we end today's video, just to get an idea of the scope of where we are. We're still very early in our gameplay on this map. We own a couple of fields as well as this area behind our starting farm. But as we convert this over, next time we're together, this will be grass. And this will be used to take care of our cows, both in our large and small pastures. And then we'll have field 3, and who knows where we may go next. I've got a few plans for these fields behind us, fields 1 and 2, but we'll talk about that more in the future. For right now, we are going to be happy with where we are and look forward to more expansion, more equipment, better equipment as we move things forward. So that's going to do it for today. Thank you so much for joining me, and stick around for more Alpine Farming Expansion.